सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे। ॐ श्रीवल्लभा समेत श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ श्री हयग्रीवाय नमः। We were in the topic jnAnasya-moksha-sAdhanatA-nirUpaNam, dhyAnasya tadasAdhanatva-nirUpaNam cha. Okay. So here we are saying that jnana alone will give moksha, and dhyana, which is a manasa kriya, is not actually sakshat moksha sadhana. Now in this context, I think we came up to this point, okay, that Ramanuja is saying Vedanat moksha, where Vedana is defined as dhyana and bhakti, and they say that up to the time of your death, you have to keep repeating the same, whatever Aham Brahmasmi is actually a upasana for them. You have to keep repeating that. And that Smriti Santana, correct, that series or that flow will only give you moksha. That too only Videha Mukti for them. There is no Jivan Mukti idea at all. So here, so they say that the one who is Atma Darshana Kami, correct, one who wants to know oneself, that person has to repeat it, because even if you know once, okay, even if the Sakshatkara or the understanding, the clear understanding that Aham Brahmasmi is there, even then, if you know something else, then that other thing will replace this jnanam and it won't be continuous. So you should have a continuous flow according to them. You have to keep on repeating continuously. Okay. The avritti you have to do, and it is non-stop. In fact, you have to do. Okay. That is the idea here. Now, in this context, the Advaitin is saying that once you have gained the Atma Sakshatkara, correct, whichever vritti may produce that, because the vritti jnanam only can destroy the ajnanam. Ajnanam cannot be destroyed by the Swarupa jnanam. See, we have an understanding that there is a Swarupa jnanam, which is consciousness by itself, which is not associated with any kriya. And then there is a vritti jnanam. In fact, the manovritti is called vritti jnanam also only as a upachara. It is only a figurative usage because the Chaitanya manifests there in a special way, correct? Because the Antakarana is Sattva Pradhana Upadhi. Therefore, there the Chaitanya is manifesting, and even the Pramatritvam is also associated with that only, correct? We say that the Antakarana Avachinna Chaitanya is the Pramata. The knower is manifesting in the mind only. It is the knower is neither the mind, consciousness by itself also is not a knower, correct? It is basically when these two things come together, or when the consciousness manifests in the upadhi, the antakarana upadhi, that becomes the knower. And that knower then has to know something, means we have to use a pramana. The pramana is the manovritti itself, because the manovritti avachinna chaitanya is the pramana. Manovritti means it is a state of mind, we say. Okay, the mind actually goes out and takes the form of the object. So it goes out through the indriya and takes the form of the object, and that process is the manovritti, correct? And that alone destroys the ajnana, we say, because when the mano vritti is of the same form as the Vishaya Chaitanya, and then the knowledge takes place with this pratyaksha jnana, which is direct knowledge. Now, once that has taken place, once you have an atmakara manovritti, the ajnana is gone. The sakshatkara is there. Then whether you repeat it or not, the repeating and all is irrelevant. Understand that. Once the ajnana is gone, it may happen in the first vritti or it may happen in the nth vritti. We don't know when it is going to happen. Okay, whichever vritti destroys the ajnana, it has destroyed ajnana, and therefore after that, in fact, that person is not even a pramata. The very pramatritvam is gone, correct? So we give the analogy of the alum, correct? Alum, you all know, I suppose. Even today, if you go to the barber shop and all, they use the alum like an aftershave sometimes in India. And even in home also, we used to use it. My father and all, they used to use it. And this alum has the ability to purify water. So in those days, muddy water and all, they used to use the alum to purify it. So in that, the alum also will settle along with that. Any other impurities also will settle at the bottom. Then you can take the top part of the water. So like that, see, the alum is the one which itself is like an impurity, but it helps you to settle the impurity along with itself. Or they give the analogy of the stick which the guy in the funeral home uses. Okay. So that with the stick only he is managing the burning body, and finally that stick also goes into the funeral pyre once it is no more required. Or the analogy of dream tiger also is used by Bhashyakara in Gita. So the dream tiger is good enough to wake you up. And once you wake up, even the dream tiger also is equally unreal, correct? Like the dream itself. So the pramatritvam itself is gone due to the Atma Akara Vritti, which destroys the wrong notion that I am one of the Triputi, correct? Because the knower, known means of knowledge, this threefold division, jnanam is what? All these three are nothing but Atma alone. Atma Chaitanyam alone is appearing as the knower, known, and means of knowledge. All of that is only this. Because they are all mutually dependent, correct? Anything mutually dependent has to have an independent reality as the basis for that. That is this Chaitanyam, because subject-object division itself is mutual. If there is no object, even the status of being a subject is not there for you, but you are always there. That is the point you have to understand. So that is the Atmakara Vritti we are talking about. Once it is there, and then Ajnanam is gone. That's all we say, correct? So then after that, the Brahman cannot become Paroksha again. But the Purva Pakshi is saying, like even Ghata Jnanam is there. You look at the Ghata, you have Ghata Jnanam. You have the cognition of pot. Now you look away and look at something else, then Patak Jnanam is there, let us say, the cognition of cloth. At that time, the Ghatak Jnanam is gone. Ghata becomes Paroksha again, once your gaze goes somewhere else. But if the one who is desirous of always having the Ghata cognition has to be always looking at the Ghata, correct? Like that, even with reference to Brahman, you have to do the same thing. That is the argument which the Purva Pakshi made. Okay. That's what we saw in the last class. Okay. And there, what we are saying is what? Ghata is a parichinna vastu. Therefore, the Ghata cognition can be replaced by a Pata cognition, correct? The pot cognition can be replaced by a cloth cognition. And again, you can come back and look at the pot. You can again make the pot cognition and make it direct knowledge. we accept that. But Brahman is not similar. Understand that. So that's what we are saying here. We were here, I think. Kada chitka aparokshashalini घटे भवतु तथा नित्य अपरोक्षे ब्रह्मात्मनि कथम तथा भवे. So घटा being parichinna at some only whenever you are actually cognizing it, it is aparoksha, you can say, or pratyaksha. But Brahman is not same, because Brahman is nitya aparoksha. It is always, it is aparoksha because it is your own swarupa, correct? It's not separate from you. It is your own atma, and it is also sarvantara atma. That is Brahman. And who is saying that? I am not saying it. Then he is quoting the Shruti. Nacha na nitya aparoksham brahmeti vachyam. So Purva Pakshi cannot say Brahman is not nitya aparoksha. Why? Because Shruti is saying yet sakshad aparokshad brahmeti shrute. Shruti itself, this is the Brihadaranyaka Shruti, and it comes in the fourth Brahmana of the third chapter. And it keeps, even in other Brahmana also, it is repeated. It's a very and Bhashyakara, what does Bhashyakara say here? Sakshat aparokshat means what? Sakshat means Adi Shankara is saying avyavahitam, because it is direct, means, see, anything else you want to know, like a part, you require a means of knowledge, correct? Because the part is separate as an object of knowledge from the knower, which is yourself. So when the part is separate as a Vishaya from the Pramata, you are the knower, then you require a means of knowledge to know that. But Atma is not like that. Atma is not separate from you, correct? That is why Bhashyakara says avyavahitam. Atma is yourself. And to know yourself, in fact, you don't even have to use any means of knowledge, correct? If I ask you, are you there? You don't have to use any means of knowledge to say, I am. It is Swaprakasha Swatasiddha Vastu. You are self-existent and self-revealing reality. So that being the case, you don't require any means of knowledge also. The very fact that I am is avyavahitam, because that knowledge, for that you don't have to use anything in between. It is direct knowledge. And aparokshat means, Bhashyakara says, agaunam, because in the Shruti itself you have, in the Upasana places, it is saying Annam Brahmeti, Pranam Brahmeti, like that. Even in the Brihadaranyaka itself, there are a lot of Upasanas are there like that. Okay. So here, when we say Sakshat Aparokshat, Bhashyakara is saying this Brahman being Atma is not like that. There, actually, there and all, in the Upasana, it is basically an Adhyaropa only, correct? It is Shastra Vihita Adhyaropa. We call it Sampat Upasana or Ahangraha Upasana and all that. In Shalagrami Vishnum Dhyayet means Shalagrama is not really Vishnu, but some guna is matching with Vishnu. So you meditate or you visualize Vishnu in Shalagrama, because if you break open the Shalagrama, it looks like Shanka and Chakra, and Vishnu also has the Shanka Chakradhari, like that, an association with that. So that you can do Sampat Upasana, like that. Aham also, Annam Brahmeti Upasita and all that is like that. Annam is Brahman. Like that you do Upasana, which is fine. But when we say Aham Brahmasmi, that is not an Upasana. That is something to be known. And there is no Gauna Prayoga or anything. It is Mukhya Artha. Aham is Brahman. That is how one has to understand Aham, which is Sarvantaratma. Yes, Sakshat, Aparokshat, Brahma. Yes, Sarvantaratma. Like that only the question itself is asking. Now tell me, what is that Brahman? Like that Yajnavalkya is being asked by Ushasta. So there is a Ushasta Brahmana there. And then Yajnavalkya answers. Of course, you cannot show Brahman like an object, correct? It is not an object. Nedam edidam upasate. Kena Upanishad and all is very clear. So then he says, Yat pranena praniti, apanena apaniti, and all that. So that which is making the prana into prana, apana into apana, like that only he has to show Brahman as the one in whose presence all these things are functioning. The body mind sense complex itself functions as it is. Or even in Kena Upanishad, we say Shrotrasya Shrotram, Manaso Manaha, Vachoha Vacham, and all that. It is the eye of the eye, mind of the mind, ear of the ear, and all that. So, in whose presence all these things are active, and also the one who knows even whether your eyes are seeing or not. That's why Bhashyakara says, Drishte he drashtaram, like that he talks about this Brahman, the seer of sight. Okay, because the one who knows whether the eyes are seeing or not, one who knows whether the mind is thinking or not, one who knows whether the ears are hearing or not, that is the conscious being we are talking about, and that is Brahman, that is yourself, in fact. Now, that is this, yes, Sakshad, Aparokshad Brahma. Once you know this Aparoksham Brahma, it is always Aparoksha, it is Nitya Aparoksha because it is never away from you, correct? It's not like a pot which can go away from you. You can never be away from yourself, correct? Then how can it again become Paroksha? That's what is the point here. Initially, you can say, okay, now once we have said this, in fact, the Purva Pakshi himself is now raising one point. Let us see that, and we can continue through that only. So he says, Nacha evam nitya aparokshe brahmatmani vrittihi api vyartha eva iti vachya. So now the Purva Pakshi is saying, then why do you need this vritti to know this nitya aparoksha brahma? It is always aparoksham you are saying, correct? So why do you even require this Atmakara vritti? It's a very valid question, correct? So then what do we say? We say Nitya Parokshe api tasmin ajnana kalpita paroksha brahma vyudasartham vrittehe avashyakatva. So even though Brahman is Nitya Paroksha, then we have to say, but Ajnana is there. Due to Ajnana only there is a Kalpita Paroksha Brahma is there. As though now, see, due to Ajnanam, you take yourself for granted. In fact, you take yourself as restricted to only one body mind sense complex as the knower, etc. Now, that itself is a problem, really. And as though you are separate from all the objects, all these yatra dvaitam iva pashyati. So, that is the ajnana. Ajnana dasha is always introducing all this bheda, separation. And jnanam means always there is no bheda, abheda. Jnanam means it has to lead you to abheda darshana. You cannot make even a small difference. Udaram antaram kurute atha tasya bhayam bhavati. Shruti say. Dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati. Even if you make a small division, separation, then the whatever the other thing becomes bhayakarana. So this all these things, this separation itself is only a brahma. It is an erroneous cognition. It is kalpita. It is not real. It is only an appearance. So it is all due to ajnana. Ajnana kalpita. Paroksha brahma vyudasartham. To remove this ajnana only. Along with the ajnana, the karya, ajnana karya, which is the brahma, also is gone. Therefore, the vritti is required. In fact, all vritti jnanam, what does it do? It basically destroys ajnanam. Ajnanam is the covering. It is the avarana. So, ajnanena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. Jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nashitam atmanaha tesham adityavat jnanam prakashayati tatparam. All this there in Gita also it is there. So, this avarana only brings the separation or vyavahita. But then once you understand Brahman is always avyavahitam, it is never separate from yourself. then it can never become paroksha again. That is the point here. So vritti is required to destroy the ajnanam. Okay. Or then we give a concession here. What? Yadva mastu nitya aparoksham brahma. Okay, you are saying Brahman is not nitya aparoksha. Okay. Okay, we'll concede that. But even then, our point is there is no problem for us. Tatapi na anupatti. Whatever we say is not untenable. Even then. Why? Jnanat prak paroksham api paschat sada aparokshameva iti paripurnatvat brahmanaha swatma ananyatvat cha. So, jnanat prak Brahman is paroksha, let us say. Of course, Brahman, when it is introduced as Jagat Karanam Brahma, is paroksha only. Until Shruti points out that Jagat Karanam Brahma is not separate from yourself, it is identical to your own Swarupa. So initially, when Brahman is introduced as Jagat Karanam, it can be paroksha. But after the Jnanam, Mahavakya Jnanam, after that, Paschat, it is always aparokshameva because it is not separate from yourself. And also it is paripurnaha, means it is everything. So even when the jnani has some perception of an object or something, that object also is not separate from Brahma. For a jnani, all the Triputi are Brahman only, always. Whatever you see is Brahman. The seer also is Brahman. That is the jnana drishti. Correct? So it is like in Tamil, beautifully, Tirumula said, correct? Varattai maraitadu mamada yanai. மரத்தில் மறைந்தது மாமத யானை பரத்தை மறைத்தது பார்முதல் பூதம் பரத்தில் மறைந்தது பார்முதல் பூதம் means what? When you are seeing a mad elephant, you see it as real elephant means you are seeing so many angas and all that, correct? So many organs in the elephant, so many differences, and you think it is going to attack you, so you are ready to run. Then somebody is pointing out that no, it is only wood. Once you look at it as wood, there is no elephant there. Elephant has vanished into the wood. Wood alone is the reality. And in woodness, there is no elephantness or any of the parts of the elephant. There is no dvaita. There is only wood alone is there. Ekameva advitiyam wood there. Similarly, you are seeing here the world which is Pancha Mahabhuta and Bhautika. It is all the bhutas and then elements and elementals. And then what? Then you understand that everything is Brahman alone. There is nothing other than Brahman. Means all this Pancha Bhuta and Bhautika, including your body, mind, sense complex, everything is Bhuta and Bhautika only. Correct? All of that vanish into Brahman alone is there. There is nothing other than this Brahman. So in that drishti, everything else is whenever even the Triputi is only an appearance in Brahman. It has no reality. It is all mithya. That is the jnana drishti. So that jnana drishti means what? Brahman is paripurnaha, means Brahman is everything. Brahman is the limitless conscious being, which is yourself. That means you don't lack anything. You are everything. In fact, Sarvantaratma, you are Sarvam. You are everything actually. Okay. In you only everything is there. Even that vision also is said both in the Ishavasya Upanishad and Gita also in the 6th chapter, Bhagavan says. Correct? So, you see yourself as the self of all and everything in yourself. That is the vision we are talking about. So, Sarvancha Mai Pashyati, also Bhagavan says. Correct? So, this drishti, where everything is yourself, everything is not separate from yourself, correct? Swatma Ananya, and everything is only one Vastu, which is yourself. Once you have that vision, then this is aparoksha. It can never become paroksha after this vision. No, that is what we are talking about. Okay, so now what the Purva Pakshi is saying? Nanu yadi evam Shanika deva atmakara vritti jnanat atma sakshatkaraha tarhi brahmavidam kutaha samsara upalambhaha iti chet. Okay, now Purva Pakshi is saying, now you are saying, okay, one vrittik jnana which is shanika, correct, which is transient. From that only one gets atma sakshatkara as Brahman. So then how does the Brahmavid still have samsara, he is asking. Okay. Because for them seeing the Dvaita itself is samsara. That's not the point, correct? Taking the Dvaita as real is the samsara. But whatever, they are saying, how can the Brahmavid also function in this world? How is it possible? That is also samsara, they are saying. So, kutaha samsara upalambaha iti chet uchyate what? Yaihi Brahma sakshat kritam tesham naiva samsaraha. So, for the one who has understood this Brahman clearly, there cannot be any samsara or anything. Where is the question of any samsara? Okay? And those who have samsara, yesham samsaraha, taihi brahma naiva sakshat kritam iti. So we are very clear. One who thinks that I am a samsari has not had Brahma sakshatkar. The one who has understood Brahman clearly can never say I am a samsari. Even if you wake that person up from sleep and ask, who are you? He is going to say, Aham Brahmasmi. Not Aham Samsari or Aham Dehavan, etc. So, that is very clear. Okay. Then what? Then another point. Nacha evam samadhihi vyartha iti vachyam vyartheti vachyam. Okay. Swananda anubhavartam tasya avashyakatvat. Okay. Another point is then why are people going after all this samadhi and all that? Is samadhi required? All these points one can have. Okay. If we say, see, samadhi is something in which the mind is having no dvaita, correct? The mind itself is resolved in, and it is the it is where the mind actually reflects the reality of yourself. So there is nothing wrong in having going after this pursuit of samadhi because it is ananda anubhava anyway. Okay. Samadhi is a desirable experience. We don't say that samadhi itself will give you jnanam or that itself is moksha. But samadhi can be useful to assimilate this jnanam. And it is a ananda avapti also is there in samadhi. Therefore, there is no problem with that. Okay. Samadhi is required for some people. And again, what kind of samadhi and all, we can have a discussion on that. Okay. And in fact, the Yoga Shastra defines so many different types of samadhi. Their terminology is different. The Vedantins have their own idea about samadhi. Even Bhashyakara talks about this in the, I think, the 147 Bhashya in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So, samadhi as a pursuit for a Brahmavid is not a problem. What else can a Brahmavid pursue anyway? So, why? Because he is also explaining samahite hi chetasi swanandaha spurati. Again, the samadhi word also Bhashyakara gives in the Gita a very beautiful vigraha. He says, samadhiyate yasmin sarvam iti samadhi. So, samadhi is another word for atma only. Understand that. Into which everything resolves, which is atma. Because even in every cognition, the knower, known, and the means of knowledge, everything resolves into myself only. That is the jnanam one should have. Aham nirvikalpaha. That is the jnanam. Okay, I am always without any division, aham akhanda Chaitanya, that is the jnanam we are talking about. And to actually assimilate this samadhi as an experience is useful. And in that experience also is a ananda avapti only. It is like deep sleep anyway, correct? Nobody complains, go to the doctor and says, doctor, I am getting sleep. Like this, nobody is going and complaining. Only if you don't get a sleep, then you have to go and say, doctor, I have insomnia, give me some tablets, I want to sleep, etc. So, always sleep, samadhi, all these things are all desirable because there is no dukkha there. Right? You have transcended all your desires and you have also transcended all shoka in sleep and samadhi, all these states. So, it is a ananda spurana is there. And mind also, we say that even as a prerequisite, we say, correct? The all the yoga sadhana, we accept it because we talk about samadama, parama, even in that samadhanam is there. So we talk about samadhi as a prerequisite itself in the sadhana chatushtaya. And even after Shravana Manana, the Nididhyasana part, the sadhana is there because the assimilation of this knowledge is important. Therefore, there is no problem for us in accepting samadhi. So, tasmad yesham kshanamapi atma kara antakarana vrittihi asite kritatma sakshatkaratvat muchyante eva prarabdha avasane. So, for those who have had, even once you have understood, correct, and you have had the antakarana vritti, akandakara vritti, atmakara vritti, so the vritti in the which reflects your true nature. Once you have had that and the ajnana is destroyed, means you are all only mukta purushas. Okay, so anybody who attends Vedanta class who has already had a certain qualification, okay, and you have attended Vedanta classes properly and you have assimilated this knowledge, means you are all mukta purusha only, regardless of how the vyavahara is. Understand that? Because the vyavahara is purely prarabdha. And prarabdha means his karma has already started. Bhashyakara also says it is like mukta ishuvate. It is like the arrow which has already left the bow. And it will come to a stop only after that momentum is gone. So the prarabdha is there and it can be strong also. That's why Bhashyakara says in that 147 only, Bhashya in Brihadaranyaka, he talks about, he says that Tyaga Vairagyadhi sadhanas are important even for a jnani, Samyak jnani. He says the one who has clear knowledge about this Atma also, because of the strength of this Prarabdha karma, you should not take yourself as a Karta Bhokta, correct? That can be very easy. So you have to have these sadhanas, Tyaga Vairagyadi sadhana, you have to continue. How long and all you cannot ask. Till the time it is clear, till the time it is sahaja to you, correct? See, the Ajnani, for the Ajnani, what is sahaja? What is natural? You ask who are you, he is going to say, I am so and so. The identity with respect to the body, mind, sense complex is natural for an Ajnani. Similarly, for the Jnani, it has to be natural, correct? Aham Brahmasmi should be natural. That is what we call sahaja. It's once till the time it is natural to you, till the time this knowledge is always available, one has to do some sadhana. That is the nididhyasana part actually. Even for the one who has clear knowledge, in Shravana Manana is done, but still some requirement for nididhyasanam can be there. Again, nididhyasana is nothing but repeating whatever you have gained that knowledge, that smriti santana has to be maintained in your mind. So again, don't think that nididhyasana means it is some independent meditation or something like that. It is not even, we don't even count it as a dhyana, because nididhyasana, even though it is a manasa kriya, it is not for the purpose of any, uh, what we say, apurva. Correct? It is not for some gaining some punya or anything. Adrishta phala. Dhyanam as a manasa kriya is mainly for adrishta phala. Although for a Vedantin, Dhyanam is the more important aspect of the Dhyanam is that you get a certain Chitta Naishchalyam, which is a prerequisite for this Jnanam, we say. Okay. So, Dhyanam can be looked upon as as if you do Dhyanam with Yoga Buddhi, then for you the Drishtapala is more important. But Dhyanam, Japa, etc., for the Upasaka, more than the Drishtapala, the Adrishta is important. But when we talk about Nididhyasanam, Nididhyasana is only to assimilate whatever you have listened to during Shravanam, or you just repeat the same thing. That repetition helps you to assimilate the knowledge and make this knowledge available all the time, because any insight has to be repeated till it has a certain strength to take root, correct? So that insight, in that insight you are established. That is what we call jnana nishtha. So we have a jnana and a jnana nishtha also we talk about. But even those who have jnanam, they are all jnanis. Understand that. Nobody who has attended proper Vedanta, or one who has done like Vedanta classes, means you at least you should have done some Gurukula Vasam and all that. Being a mumukshu, attending the Vedanta class, I have to say, because people can study Vedanta to get PhD. There are so many scholars like that. Panditas are also there. You cannot claim all of them are jnanis, really. They only know what the Vedanta says. They never apply it to themselves. Okay. But those who have studied Vedanta as a mumukshu, and those who have gained a certain transformation and insight, this clarity, this clear knowledge, they are all jnanis only. They are all krita atma sakshatkara karaha. They are all, the atma sakshatkara is there. And therefore, muchyante eva, they are all, they will definitely get videya mukti. That's what Villangonda is saying here, which is correct, which is the right siddhanta. So, prarabdha avasane, once the prarabdha is over, all these people will anyway get videha mukti. All this samadhi or yoga sadhana, etc., is only for jivan mukta. Okay. Okay. So, that's what he is now saying. Yesham punaha sarvada atma kara antakarana vrittihi asti. Tepi prarabdha avasane videya muktim prapadyate. So even those who always have this atmakara vritti or whatever, they are in samadhi and all that we say, they are also same videya mukta only. Even but actually speaking, my Guruji does not approve of saying, see, there are texts like Jivan Mukti Viveka, where there are that Sapta Bhumika and all is talked about there. There is a Brahma with Araha and all that. Okay. Brahma with Variyaha, Brahmavid, Varittaha, and all that. Different classifications are there. So basically, all these classifications are from the Prarabdha of the Jnani. And Jnani, once you are a Jnani, you don't look upon yourself as a Karta Bhokta. That is the truth. So, from Jnani's own standpoint, none of these things really matter. What kind of a lifestyle a Jnani has, you can have any lifestyle. In the Gita also, Bhagavan talks about all these things in the 4th chapter, correct? Karmanya pravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha is one type he says. So, after Jnana also, like Janakadi, you can be involved in karma. You can be even ruling a country, but you are not really karta bhokta. Or you can say Sharira Yatra alone you are taking care, correct? Yadricha labha santushtaha dvandvatito vimatsaraha samasiddhava siddhocha kritvapi na nibadhyate. You can be yadricha labha santushtaha. You don't do anything, you sit under a tree, whatever you get, you eat. Or if somebody comes, you can teach. If anybody is there, you can teach. Even then, there is no pressure to teach. Understand that. A guru also, a jnani becomes a guru only when there is a shishya. Shishya has to come and ask. Then the teaching, the guru has no problem in teaching also. And guru has no problem in not teaching also, because jnani is like that. You cannot have any pressure saying that you are a jnani. There is no pressure. But whatever is presenting a situation, then you go along with that. So like that, what lifestyle a jnani has, based on that, you don't even have to classify the jnani and all that. This is one view. But then there are, in the tradition, it is also there. We cannot discount it. We do talk about all this. There is a Jivan Mukti Viveka text also. So there are different types of jnanis are all talked about based on their, how much their mind is, whatever, mind is resolved. Okay. Samahita chitta, how much it is samahita, based on that. So there are some taratamya is talked about. But from a purely from one's own standpoint, it doesn't make any difference to the jnani. Okay. And yesham, so okay, parantu, okay, jivan muktimapi jivat dashayam iti visheshaha. So even the jivan mukti, like this, whatever we say, see, even once you have this jnanam to a certain extent, it is going to transform you. There is a certain self-transformation, and therefore that self-transformation has to manifest itself in your lifestyle and all that. Whether in that lifestyle you take part in the Shankaracharya himself took part in so much Vyavahara. He wrote all the Bhashya. He is supposed to have traveled all over India with a whatever retinue of Shishyas. He taught everybody. He went and debated and defeated people. So all this Vyavahara Shankara did. Or there is somebody like Ramana Maharishi who lived only in Tiruvannamalai, who never went anywhere, who lived in one place. Correct? There are examples like that. You cannot say one is greater than the other, or who is greater. What what is the basis on which you will say whether Shankara is greater or Shankara is only Brahmavit and somebody else is Brahmavit Varishtaha? Can we say that? I don't know. Even I have my own reservations in classifications like that, but there are, you can classify, assuming that some lifestyle is better than something else for a jnani. But anyway, so Jivan Mukta, you are also a Jivan Mukta only. Understand that. Not only Videha Mukti. Videha Mukti is definitely there, irrespective of the state of your mind and all that. Once you have understood the truth, then you are a Mukta Purusha only. There is no doubt in that. So nobody can claim, I am not a Jnani. But sometimes there is a problem to claim, I am a Jnani. That owning up is a process again. It can take some time. Okay, owning, because the teaching is not that you will become Brahman. So it is not dependent on any process or anything that you have to become Brahman. Teaching is you are Brahman, correct? You are Brahman as you are. With the same body, mind, sense complex, you are Brahman. Understand that. That is the teaching. If you are able to own it up, fine. You don't have to change anything. You are qualified enough to own up to this teaching, fine. If you are not able to own it up, then you have some work to do. You can do that work. Okay. But only you know whether you are a Jivan Mukta or not. Even there, nobody else can come and basically nobody can judge this. It is only your own Swanubhava. And Jnani Swanubhava, nobody can deny it or confirm it or anything. It is your own Anubhava. Understand that. So, Yetena Jivan Mukti Sukha Abhilashina Eva Nirantaram Atmadhyanam Kartavyam Videha Mukti Kamina tu Atma Sakshatkaraha Eva Sampadya iti Viveka Siddhaha. So, he is saying the one who is uh, one who is more desirous of Jivan Mukti. Even I won't say even Jivan Mukti. I will say one who wants to have, do not want to engage in Vyavahara, correct? And be whatever reveling in one's own Swarupa, can make more effort towards silencing the mind completely and all that. Okay. Or go into all this Samadhi, Sadhana, etc. Because the one who has understood I am not a Karta, Bhokta can still be involved in all this Vyavahara. That person also is in Sahaja Samadhi only, we have to say. So, but those who are going after a pursuit of Samadhi, etc., also they are fine. Okay, they think that they have to be in that only. That is their prarabdha, in fact. So that is fine. And the others can be still in Vyavahara. Whichever way you look at it, everybody is a jnani. Everybody will definitely get Vidya Mukti. And in Jivan Mukti also, it is your own Anubhava. If you are able to own it up, then it is fine. Okay. So everybody has Atma Sakshatkara, and therefore everybody is a Mukta Purusha. This Viveka we should have. So Tasmad Asakrit Avritta Avrittad Anavrittat Va Vritti Jnanat Atma Vishayat Atma Sakshatkaraha Kare Sati Jantuhu Kaivalyam Prapnoti iti Siddhantaha. So what is the Siddhanta is now summarizing. He says therefore, whether you repeat it or whether you do it only once, correct? You get this vritti jnana, whether that vritti itself you are repeating or you are not repeating. Once a particular vritti has destroyed the jnanam and you have had atma sakshatkara, then you have attained kaivalyam, moksha. You have gained moksha, you are free, and then it's no more even dependent on a particular type of body, mind, sense complex, etc. You are free. The identity with the body, mind, sense complex itself is broken. Correct? It can never be the same again. So it is like the another analogy is given is what? It is like the seed which is already roasted. It has no potency. It may look like a regular seed, but it is never going to germinate. Like that, the body mind sense complex may still be there and Vyavahara may be happening, but the jnani is aware even while engaged in the Vyavahara, aham akarta bhokta tasya kartaram apimam vidhi akartaram avyayam. Correct? So, Pashyan, Shrinvan, Sprishan, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Shopan, Swashan, Pralapan, Visrijan, Grinnan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Napi, Indriyan, Indriyartheshu, Vartanta iti Dharayan, Brahmanyadhaya Karmani, all these things, correct? Brahmarpanam, Brahma Avihi. So everything is Brahman only. All Karakas are Brahman. The Karaka Upamardana is there means then you are no more. Everything is Brahman actually. Whether it is a Karta, Karma, Karana, Sampradana, Upadana, or whatever, Adhikarana, all the Karakas are Brahman. And Brahman alone is yourself. And therefore, that is the vision. Once you have that, you have moksha. And this cannot be denied by anybody. The jnani's swanubhava can never be denied by anybody. And Shastra also confirms that. Correct? So, idam cha atma akaram vritti jnanam vicharitat Vedanta Mahavakya Deva Jayate. So, how do you get this atma akara vritti? Means you have to do vichara of the Vedanta Vakya, the Mahavakya vichara only will give you this vritti jnanam, which will destroy the ajnana, which will remove all wrong notions with reference to yourself. Atma need not be established by the Veda. The Veda Pramana is only to remove wrong notions about yourself because everybody knows I am. I am part, there is no problem. Veda need not establish the existence of Atma. Veda only has to remove all wrong notions about yourself. Once all these things are gone, then you are as you are. You are the self-existing, self-revealing, limitless conscious being, and that is you. And you are the source of all happiness. You do not lack anything. You don't have to do anything. You revel in yourself. That is the Atma Ratihi, Atma Kridaha, and all also it is talked about in the Shastra, correct? Atmanyeva Atmana Tuttaha Stita Prajnaha. Okay. Atmanyeva Atmana Tuttaha Stita Prajna Stadochyate, like this Bhagavan also says. So that is the Jnani, and therefore that's all is required really. Okay. But they don't accept. These people say Mahavakya is also Upasana. In fact, there is a text called Shruti Sara Samudharana, Totakacharya's wonderful text. There he has taken the Mahavakya and given all the possible meanings and why the different meanings, other than actually understanding the Mahavakya as a statement of fact, every other interpretation does not hold water. He explains that very beautifully. So that is one text which is very good actually. So there also all these things, why it is not really an upasana, or it is not a figurative usage, it is not gauna. Correct? All these things are all analyzed there very beautifully. So that is the Siddhanta for us. And now also again there is one more Purva Pakshi is coming. Okay, because some people say Shabda cannot give you Aparoksha Jnanam. Shabda can give you only Paroksha Jnana. Like this there is a view. So that is going to come as the Purva Paksha next. We will see that in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
So, tomorrow, Guruji,